Hey, my name is Kendra, I'm 45, and I'm sitting here staring at my phone, wondering if I've completely lost the only person who ever really loved me. It's strange, how quickly things can go from perfect to this. And now? Now I'm not sure if I'm the villain in my own story, or if I've just pushed too far. I never thought I'd end up here. But here I am, and I don't know how to get back. But I have to try, don't I? Okay, I know. It's a lot, right? But just hear me out. Get comfortable, grab a drink if you need to, and let me tell you the rest. I'd love to know what you think. Seriously, drop a comment below. What would you have done in my shoes? And hey, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. I never planned on being the kind of person who would look back and feel regret. But here I am, at 45, staring at the woman I've become, trying to figure out how I got here. My name is Kendra. I used to be everything that seemed so far from normal, the one people would whisper about in dark corners of clubs and chat rooms. They never knew me, the real me. But that's how the world works, doesn't it? You show a little bit of yourself, just a sliver, and the rest is filled in by others' fantasies. I thought that after I left it all behind, the cameras, the lights, the expectations, I could start fresh. I found Derek, and for a while, I thought that would be it. We'd slip into a life that had nothing to do with what I used to be. A life where his hands weren't just a reminder of the man I once was in the eyes of others, but a real comfort, a haven, a way to feel loved. Or so I thought. But it's been hard to shut out the past, and harder to escape the feeling that my body, once a symbol of power and desire, is nothing more than a trigger now. A trigger for what, you ask? A reminder of what was. The weight of expectations, of always being something for someone else. Every time Derek touches me now, it's like the air shifts. He doesn't even try to hide it. His eyes, the way his hands brush my skin, his breath picking up. He can't help it. And that's what kills me. He doesn't even see it. But I do. I see the hunger, the need, the weight of all the times I used to be someone else. Someone who lived for that hunger. Tonight it all comes crashing down. He tries again. One of his hugs, those familiar ones, where he pulls me close, like everything's fine. His lips graze my neck, and I can feel it, like a spark of electricity building inside him. And suddenly I can't breathe. The touch that once made me feel safe now feels like a demand. He's not doing anything wrong. He's just being him. On screen it was easy. I knew who I was. But this is real. This is everything I've tried to outrun, I think to myself as I step back. My heart pounds in my chest. The space between us feels like a gulf. Don't, I whisper. It's barely audible, but it's all I can manage. He pauses, and I feel the shift, the immediate change in his expression. It's not anger, not yet. It's confusion, and maybe just a little hurt. You're too much, I say, before I even realize the words are leaving my mouth. I feel him tense up, like he's trying to swallow something that's stuck in his throat. He says nothing, but in his silence, I hear it. The weight of everything unsaid. The unspoken truth between us, hanging in the air like a blade. I didn't expect him to react like this. I thought he would understand. I thought I could explain, calmly, rationally, why everything felt wrong. Why I couldn't bear the touch of his hands on my skin anymore. Not without that familiar shift in the air. The pulse of desire that made me feel like I was trapped in someone else's past. But there we were, frozen in the aftermath of my words. I watch Derek as he stands there, stiff, his jaw clenched, his eyes no longer warm but distant, as if something inside him has closed off. He doesn't say anything. At first, I think he's holding back, trying to gather his thoughts. But then I realize he's just holding back, like he's waiting for me to say something more, to fix it, but I can't. I didn't mean it, I whisper, but the words feel empty, even to me. Don't say that, Derek finally speaks, his voice low, controlled. But I can hear the edge, the frustration lurking beneath. Don't take it back. If you said it, you meant it. He shakes his head, his hand running through his hair, his chest rising and falling with the tension. You think I don't get it? I think I know what's going on, Kendra. The room feels smaller now, suffocating. I move across the kitchen, the tiles cold beneath my bare feet. I want to leave, to escape, but I know I can't. Not without facing the wreckage I've caused. The walls of this house, our house, are suddenly closing in on me, like I'm being consumed by the very space I thought I could control. You don't get it, I say, trying to make my voice steady. It's not you, it's me. I just can't handle it anymore. The way you touch me, the way you look at me like I'm some object. I thought I was strong enough, Derek, but I'm not. He looks at me then, like he's seeing me for the first time in a long time. And maybe he is. The woman he married is still here, but buried beneath a mountain of things I've never shared with him, things I've never had the courage to admit. You think I see you as an object? His voice cracks, a bitter laugh escaping him. You think that's what this is? I don't want you to be an object, Kendra. I want you to be my wife. I want you to let me love you. I bite my lip, the weight of his words pressing down on me like a stone. I want to apologize, but I know it's too late for that now. You're not the woman I thought I married, Derek says softly, almost to himself. And that, more than anything, strikes me to my core. I want to tell him everything. I want to scream and explain how broken I feel, how far I've fallen from the person he once knew. But I don't. Instead, I watch him turn and walk away, his footsteps echoing in the quiet house. I've already broken him, and I didn't even know it was happening. The days blur together now. It's like the house itself has become a shell, hollowed out by the silence between us. I walk through rooms I once thought of as our shared space, but now it feels like I'm the only one left here. Derek hasn't touched me since that night. No lingering hand on my back as I cook dinner, no accidental brush of his fingers while we sit on the couch. The absence of it is suffocating. I tell myself it's what I wanted, that the distance between us is what I asked for. But deep down, a small voice keeps whispering, "This isn't what you wanted, Kendra." Not really. The truth is, I don't know what I want anymore. I've been so focused on protecting myself, so obsessed with pushing him away to avoid facing my own demons, that I forgot what it felt like to just be. To simply exist in his presence without the weight of expectations. I thought I could control it, make it all go away. But now that I've got the space I asked for, it feels more like a prison. It's not just the absence of touch that gets to me. It's everything. The way he walks around the house like a stranger, the cold politeness in his eyes. When he speaks, it's as if he's talking to someone he barely knows. There's no warmth, no spark. And I'm to blame for that. What have I done? That question spins in my head, on repeat, like a broken record. I want to fix it. I want to find a way back to what we had before, but I have no idea how. I can't even look at him without feeling this crushing guilt. The man who once made me feel wanted, who made me feel like I was the most important person in his world, is now a ghost. And it's my fault. I try to reach out, once, twice, little attempts to break the ice, to initiate even the smallest amount of affection. But each time, he pulls back, like he's afraid of crossing some invisible line. It's like he's waiting for me to make the first real move, but I don't know how. How do you fix something you've shattered beyond recognition? I spend hours sitting by the window, staring out at the world that feels so far away. The autumn leaves swirl around in the wind, the vibrant reds and golds a stark contrast to the emptiness inside me. And then, one evening, as I stand at the stove, cooking dinner for just one, a sudden thought hits me. I never told him what I needed. I never told him how I wanted to be loved. I think about the years I spent hiding, running from my past, trying to be someone I thought he could love. But maybe I never gave him the chance to love me the way I really am. I turn, facing the empty chair at the table, the place where he used to sit, right across from me, laughing, sharing stories about his day. It's so quiet now, too quiet. I can't lose him, but I'm not sure he can hear me anymore. The next morning, I wake up with a new determination. It's like something inside me has shifted, as if I've finally woken from a deep sleep. I can't keep pretending that everything is fine, that the distance between Derek and me is just some temporary glitch. It's not. This is the reality I've created. And if I want him back, really back, I have to do more than just apologize. I need to open up in ways I've never done before. I need to let him see me, all of me, the raw, vulnerable parts of me that I've kept hidden for too long. I think back to the day we met, how I had convinced myself that being someone new, someone different from my past, would be enough to make us happy. But now, standing in this space, the realization hits. I never gave him the real me. Not completely. I pull myself together, dress in something casual but real, something I can wear without hiding behind the mask of perfection I've tried so hard to maintain. My hair is still messy from sleep, and I don't bother with makeup. This is me. All of me. I drive to the cafe where Derek and I first talked about our future. The place where we made promises, where we laughed about the silly things in life. I've been here countless times before, but today feels different. There's something heavy in the air, something that weighs me down as I walk through the door. The bell above the door rings as I step inside, and my heart skips a beat when I spot him. He's sitting in our usual corner, the table where we shared so many quiet moments, now looking strangely unfamiliar. He's not looking at me yet, but I can already see the distance in the way he holds himself. His posture is stiff, his hand wrapped around his coffee cup, like it's the only thing keeping him grounded. I take a deep breath and walk over to the table. He looks up when he hears my footsteps, and for a brief moment, our eyes meet. It's like everything freezes. Everything but him and me. The weight of everything that's unsaid hangs between us like an invisible thread, taut and fragile. "Derek," I say softly, my voice trembling just slightly. "Can we talk?" He nods, but there's something guarded in his gaze. He doesn't say anything, just gestures for me to sit down. I take a seat across from him, the air between us thick with tension. "I've been thinking a lot about everything," I start, my hands shaking slightly as I clasp them together on the table. "About us. About how I've been pushing you away, and how that's only made things worse. But more than that, I've been thinking about how I've never really told you what I need. I've never let you see the real me, the parts of me that are scared, the parts that are still trying to figure out who I am." Derek doesn't interrupt, but I can see the curiosity in his eyes, the faint flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, this is the conversation we've both been avoiding. "I don't know how to fix it," I continue, my voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know if we can fix it, but I need you to know that I'm willing to try. For you. For us. Because I don't want to lose you." He leans back in his chair, his eyes searching mine like he's looking for something. Something real. Something he can trust. And for the first time in weeks, I feel like I might be able to give it to him. The words hang in the air between us, fragile and full of possibility. I can see Derek processing what I've just said, his eyes darting around the cafe as if searching for a reason to either pull away or lean in. His silence is unbearable, but I don't break it. I've already said everything I needed to say. Finally, he exhales deeply, a quiet release, and looks me straight in the eyes. "Kendra," he begins, his voice steady but tired. "I don't know what you want me to say. You've asked for space, and I gave it to you. I respected your boundaries. But I need to know if you're actually willing to fight for us, not just apologize when it's convenient, not just when you feel guilty." His words sting, but they're true. I've spent so much time wrapped up in my own insecurities, trying to avoid confrontation, that I forgot what it means to fight for love. "I am fighting, Derek," I say, my voice barely above a whisper, but it's full of resolve. "I'm here. I'm asking you to see me, really see me. And I want to see you too, without the walls, without the distance." He studies me for a moment longer, and then something shifts. It's subtle, but I see it in the way his shoulders relax and the way he allows himself to soften. "You know, I've been waiting for you to show up," he says quietly. "Not the woman from the past, but you, the woman who can be open, who can be real with me." His words hit me harder than I expect, but it's not the hurt that I feel. It's the relief. The weight I've been carrying suddenly lightens, and for the first time in a long while, I feel like I'm standing on solid ground. "I don't know if I can fix everything overnight," I continue, finding my courage, "but I'm willing to try. I'm willing to learn how to love, not just the idea of you, but you, exactly as you are." Derek's eyes soften, and for a moment, I catch a glimpse of the man I fell in love with. "I can work with that," he says, his voice low and steady. I reach across the table, my hand trembling slightly, but he doesn't pull away. His fingers brush mine, and it's not electric like before, not charged with the need to possess or be possessed, but gentle, calm, safe. For the first time in a long while, I feel like we're on the same page. Maybe this is the start of something new, something real. Over the next few days, I try to put into practice everything I've promised Derek, and more importantly, everything I've promised myself. The idea of being vulnerable isn't easy. I've spent years building walls around my heart, hiding the parts of myself that felt too broken, too messy to expose. But now, with Derek sitting on the other side of that fragile barrier, I have to face what's been holding me back all this time. It's not just the past I have to contend with. It's the overwhelming weight of what I've never allowed myself to confront. I've never allowed myself to fully admit the shame that comes with my history, with the things I've done, the choices I made. And as much as I want to blame him for not understanding me, for not seeing me as I truly am, the truth is, I've never given him that chance. The shame sits heavy in my chest as I sit across from Max, my old friend and therapist. He's the only one who's ever helped me pick apart the tangled mess inside. But today feels different. Today I'm not just looking for answers. I'm looking for a way to come to terms with the parts of myself that I've buried for so long. "Why are you so afraid to be seen?" Max asks, his voice steady but probing. "You know the answer, Kendra, but you don't want to face it." I shift uncomfortably in my chair, avoiding his gaze. "Because I'm scared. I'm scared of what people will think of me if they know everything. I'm scared that I'm still that woman. Max leans forward, his eyes focused on mine. You are that woman, Kendra, but that doesn't define you. Your past doesn't have to be your prison, but you have to choose to let go of it. You can't keep hiding from yourself. His words hit me hard. The weight of everything I've been carrying, the guilt, the self-loathing, begins to crack open. I realize then that I've been running not just from my past, but from the truth about who I am now. I've been living in the shadow of who I used to be, too afraid to stand in the light of who I've become. As I leave Max's office, the world feels different, lighter somehow, but there's still so much work to do. I can feel the weight of it pressing on me, the fear of losing Derek still lurking in the back of my mind. But for the first time, I'm ready to face it. I'm ready to step into the light. The night feels too quiet as I sit at my desk, the dim light of the lamp casting long shadows across the room. Derek hasn't spoken to me much since our meeting at the cafe, but there's been a subtle shift in the air. He hasn't shut me out, but he's also not reaching out. I can feel it. He's waiting for me to prove that I'm serious, that I'm not just saying words without meaning them. And I can't blame him for that. I've been the one pushing him away, the one hiding behind walls. But now that I've torn them down, I realize how hard it is to show up fully, to be vulnerable and not run away when things get hard. I write the letter to Derek with a shaky hand. It's not just an apology, it's an invitation for him to truly see me, to see all the things I've never told him, to understand the weight I've carried. I tell him everything, how I've always feared being unloved, unworthy, how my past has haunted me, how much I've resented it, and how it's all built walls between us. I tell him that I want to build something new, but it requires trust from both of us. Once it's written, the paper feels heavy in my hands. I read through the letter 3 times, wondering if it's enough, if it says everything I want to say. I don't want to drown him in my past, but I can't keep pretending that it doesn't shape who I am today. I fold the letter carefully and take it to the living room, where Derek is sitting on the couch, flicking through the channels on the TV. He doesn't look at me as I approach, but I can see the tension in his shoulders, the hesitation in his every movement. I sit down beside him, placing the letter gently on his lap. I've been thinking, I start, my voice softer than I intended, about everything, about us. He turns to look at me, his expression unreadable. There's no anger, but there's still a distance. He's trying, I can see that much. But I'm not sure I've done enough to close the gap. This is for you, I continue, tapping the letter with my finger. I need you to know what's been inside me, what I've never said. I don't expect anything from you right now. I want you to understand. Derek doesn't say anything for a long moment. He picks up the letter, looks at it for a beat, and then slowly unfolds it. I watch him as he reads, his face unreadable, his eyes scanning each word carefully. The silence between us feels suffocating, but I don't interrupt him. This is his moment to process everything I've just put in front of him. When he finishes reading, he puts the letter down slowly and meets my gaze. I can't read his expression, but my stomach churns with anxiety. My heart pounds in my chest as I wait for him to speak. Finally, he exhales. "This is a lot, Kendra," he says, his voice steady but tired. "I don't know if I can process all of it right now, but I'm glad you wrote this. I'm glad you're trying." There's no promise of a happy ending yet, no declaration of reconciliation, but his words are a start, a crack in the wall that we've been building between us. And for now, that's enough. "I'm willing to try," I say quietly, my voice full of emotion. "I want us to try." He nods slowly, and for the first time in days, I feel a glimmer of hope. The next few days pass in a haze of awkward silences and tentative conversations. We move around each other like strangers in our own home, but there's a shift in the air. A tiny spark of hope flickers between us, though neither of us is ready to acknowledge it fully yet. Derek hasn't pushed me away, but he hasn't exactly pulled me closer either. I can tell he's processing, his mind constantly churning over what I said in the letter. It's a slow, painful process, and I don't know if we'll ever go back to the way things were. I'm not sure I want that anyway. The old version of us, when everything felt effortless, was built on misunderstandings and walls I didn't even know existed. Maybe what we're building now, something real and imperfect, will be stronger. It's a Tuesday evening when he breaks the silence. He's standing in the doorway of the kitchen, looking at me as I chop vegetables for dinner. His voice is tentative but firm, as though he's been holding this in for a while. "Can we talk?" The words hit me harder than I expect, sending a chill down my spine. There's nothing in his tone that suggests anything bad, no anger, no accusation. But the weight of those words feels heavy. I set the knife down carefully, wipe my hands on a towel, and nod. "Yeah, of course." He steps into the kitchen, his hands in his pockets. For a moment, I'm struck by how much he looks like the man I married, the man I thought I knew completely. But now, standing in front of me, I realize I never really knew him at all. Not in the way I should have. "I've been thinking," he starts, his voice quieter now, "about everything. About what you said in the letter. I didn't realize how much you were holding inside. How much of it wasn't just about me. It's been hard, Kendra, watching you pull away, watching you hide. But I think I get it now." I don't say anything, just wait for him to finish. He takes a deep breath, as if bracing himself for something. I want to try too. I don't know where it's going to take us, but I want to give us a chance. For real. But it's not going to be easy. We'll have to work at it. Together. My heart skips a beat. For the first time in a long while, I feel like he's reaching for me. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. "I'm willing to try," I whisper, my voice thick with emotion. "I want this to work. I want us to find each other again." And for the first time in what feels like forever, I believe it might actually be possible. The days that follow our conversation feel like we're walking on new ground, but it's still shaky, unsteady. The trust between us hasn't been rebuilt overnight, but there's something different now, an openness, a willingness to see each other as we are, not as we were. It's slow, but I'm starting to see glimpses of the man I fell in love with, and the woman I was before the walls came up. There's something terrifying in that. Terrifying and beautiful. We decide to take a day off together. No distractions, no obligations. Just the two of us, reconnecting. Derek suggests a hike up the mountain trail near our house, a place we used to visit when everything was simpler. The thought of being outdoors, away from the weight of everything, sounds like a lifeline. It's strange, though, walking with him now. There's an almost awkward distance between us, a hesitation in the way our hands almost touch but don't. Still, we're together, and that's something. The trail is quiet, the kind of silence that forces you to think. The air is fresh, the scent of pine sharp and cleansing. We walk in comfortable silence for the first part of the trail, but soon enough, the stillness becomes too heavy. "So," Derek says, breaking the silence as we pass under a canopy of trees, "what happens if this doesn't work? What if we can't get back to where we were?" I glance over at him, startled by the question. It's one we haven't really talked about. We've been so focused on trying, on fixing things, that we haven't considered what happens if it falls apart again. "Then we'll figure it out," I answer honestly. the weight of the words sinking in. I think we both know that if we don't try, we'll always wonder, and I don't want to live with that. Derek looks over at me then, his eyes softening. For a moment, he's just looking at me, not with any expectation, but with an understanding that feels like we're on the same page for the first time in months. I realize then that this isn't about fixing everything. It's about being willing to face it, to walk through it together. We don't have to be perfect, Kendra, he says quietly. We just have to be real. I smile, the tension in my chest easing. For the first time in a long time, I feel like we might actually be able to do this. The mountain seems a little less steep now, and the path, while uncertain, is one we're willing to walk together. We've come a long way since that night in the kitchen, but even now, it feels like we're still standing on the edge of something fragile, something that could shatter if we're not careful. Our conversations are more honest now, more open, but the tension still lingers. It's as though we're both waiting for the other to take the next step, but neither of us wants to risk pushing too hard. There are days when I feel like I'm losing him all over again, like the distance between us is growing instead of shrinking. But then there are days like today. Derek has been quieter than usual, his mind clearly elsewhere, and I can't help but feel the familiar pang of uncertainty. I know he's thinking about everything, about me, about us, about what we could be, but there's still something holding him back, something I can't quite figure out. That evening, after dinner, I sit on the couch beside him, his arms stretched out along the backrest, and for a moment, it's like we're back to where we were when everything felt easy. I lean my head on his shoulder, my eyes closed, listening to the rhythm of his breathing. The warmth of his skin against mine feels like home. You know, I begin, my voice barely above a whisper. I don't think I ever really told you what I needed. Not until now. He turns his head slightly, his eyes meeting mine. There's no judgment in them, just quiet curiosity. What do you need, Kendra? He asks gently, as if the question itself is new for both of us. I hesitate for a moment, unsure if I'm ready to say the words out loud, but I know I have to. I can't keep hiding from the truth. I need to be seen, I admit, my voice thick with emotion. I need you to see me, not the version of me I've tried to be for everyone else, but the real me, the one who's still figuring things out. I need you to accept that I'm broken, but I'm also willing to heal. I need to know you'll love me even when I'm not perfect, when I'm scared, when I don't have all the answers. Derek is silent for a long time, and I brace myself for the worst. But instead of pulling away, instead of making me feel small or insignificant, he pulls me closer, wrapping his arm around me. His touch is gentle, reassuring, and for the first time in what feels like forever, I let myself relax into it. I already see you, Kendra, he says quietly, and I've always loved you, all of you, even the parts you've tried to hide. You're not broken. You're human. The words hang in the air, heavy with meaning. It's the first time in a long while that I've heard him say those words without any trace of doubt. It's like a dam has broken inside me, and the flood of emotions I've been holding back rushes to the surface. I'm not asking for perfection, he continues, his voice steady. I'm asking for us, for real, for the mess, the mistakes, the laughter, and the pain. I'm here, Kendra, and I'm not going anywhere. In that moment, I realized that we found something new between us, something stronger than the love we once had. It's not perfect, but it's ours, and it's real. We don't have all the answers yet, but we're willing to keep looking for them, together. I rest my head against his chest, the steady beat of his heart calming the storm inside me. For the first time in months, I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be.